Hello everybody and welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons! Today, I'm not dead tired. I have a headache, I feel kind of sick, but I'm not dead tired. So there's that, as bonked Caroline's door. I ended up falling asleep around like 7-ish, and then woke up at midnight. And then fell back asleep around 6-ish in the morning, and then woke up at like 3 p.m. Cashew, glad you stopped by, Tallnut. Let's chat. It's a bug off this Saturday. You gonna try and catch some bugs too, Rambler? So excited, I picked out a bunch of new bug field guides to study way ahead of the big event. That is fair. I'm also a bit gassy, and I don't know why. I get this way when I stay in bed too long. Which is why I have a headache and feel kind of sick, because I spent too long in bed. I know what it is. This is normal, this is expected. Like, it's nothing out of the ordinary, but it is kind of annoying. Diva! Zoops! Feeling psyched, queen. Let's stop. We have 2 for the next 7 hours. Wanna hang out? Just kidding, queen. I mean, I'll probably be awake for 7 more hours, so I mean, we could hang out, Diva. I have no objections to that. God, I know I say this a lot, but I would love if I had a friend, like, local to me I could just go hang out with. That'd be great. Or that would just come here to hang out, like, either one. Heck, even just a friend that I could chill with in, like, a voice call. That'd be great. But, I don't remember what all I said about Kirby Air Riders yesterday. Because, I'm gonna be honest, yesterday is a big blur for me. I don't have really much in the way of memories of what I said. Honestly, I only know for sure I talked about Kirby Air Riders because one of y'all left a comment talking about me talking about the game. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. It's a real problem. Today, I actually want to talk about something Monster Hunter related. That's also Final Fantasy related. That being, there's going to be a collab for Final Fantasy XIV in Monster Hunter Wilds. Sega's still waiting for y'all to collab with them, guys. As far as I can tell, there was a verbal agreement that that would happen once PSO2 got its global server. That'd be a great way to get people back playing the original PSO2. Do the crossovers exclusively with the original. That would be pretty cool. You know, like y'all said you would, but no. Good old Yoshi is not very generous, it seems, when it comes to other MMOs. Like, oh, Flick's here. Hey man, I'll catch you some bugs, son. But yeah. Final Fantasy XIV is going to be getting Guardian Arkveld. Not regular Arkveld, but Guardian Arkveld. So, a construct version, instead of the one that used to be a construct, but more or less became the monster itself again. Able to lay eggs and everything. So that's a little lame. Steven, how long have you been there? Guess I sort of spaced out. Been daydreaming lately about starting a new life on another island. It's not that I'm unhappy here or anything. I just think I want to try something new. I think if I want to keep growing as a hamster, I need to explore new places and make new friends. And listen to your heart, then. Let me make up my mind. I'm gonna do this, Snow Cone. I'm gonna start a whole new life. Sad to have to say goodbye to each other, but I'm excited to make this bold leap. See? I let animals move, even cute ones. But yeah, so that is a little lame. What's Monster Hunter getting then? Like, what big beastie are we getting? We're getting Omega. A robot. And not even a particularly big robot. I mean, he's not small, but, like, Behemoth is bigger. Behemoth is just as dangerous. Ooh, we got a warrior bunny. Mira! Do you live out here? You do? What's up, temporary neighbor? I want to tell you this is seriously rad here. I don't know what I was expecting, but I'm blown away. But here's a question. Is the voice this awesome here? That's what I want to know, Cottontail. I mean, I'd say so. I feel like my reading's a lot slower today. But yeah, we're getting Omega. Not Bahamut. Not any of the summons. Like, they could have given us, you know... They could have given us Odin. You know. But no, we're getting Omega. I am not terribly happy about that. And like, the argument being, well, Omega is, you know, it does hunt dragons. It's like, yeah, sure, it does hunt dragons. Oh, I apologize for being so gassy, jeez. And in hunting those dragons, it did wipe out the homeworld of the dragons and forced them across space to the planet of 14, and, you know, like, alright. But also the dragons in Final Fantasy, even things like Hraesvelgar, are weaker than a lot of the monsters in Monster Hunter. Like, I would go out on a limb and say that a single Rathalos could probably solo most of the dragons within 14. Like, and where there's one Rathalos, there's gotta be more. You don't tend to see just one outside of their event, which, in the context of the game, not going with what you can possibly do, but the context of the game itself. She has to flee under a cup. Hey there, Butterbean. Stay a while, Snorty. Let's chat. It's weird to love an object, so I'm basically in love with my double sofa. It's my favorite place to study or write. It's just so perfectly comfortable, Snorty. It is fair. She really wants me to sit on her sofa. But like, in the context of 14, you need, I think it's like 8 players to take on a Rathalos. The biggest hunting parties in Monster Hunter are 4 hunters. So already that puts Final Fantasy XIV characters at half the strength of a hunter. And they also take longer to take down a Rathalos, with double the people. What? Steven, hey, I was just meditating. Yeah, meditating. Alright, man. I believe you. I'm actually on a rest day for my exercise. It's nice. I need to still open the app just to make sure it doesn't count me as missing a day, but... And I mean, if I felt up to exercising, I still could. I could skip the rest day, but I don't think I'm gonna. I might skip tomorrow, depending on how I feel, but... Because it is 2 rest days, which is pretty nice. I mean, the Pilates course did that too, but... It did it in a slightly different way. You'd get a day of just stretching, which you could skip. Which I often would, because I can't do a lot of the stretchy yoga poses. Apparently someone from any isle designed this. I'm très amazed. Blah. You shouldn't be. You really shouldn't be. Yeah, I do need the fitting room. Let's pop in here. What do you got, girls? I can make my torso invisible with just floating arms. Have a lacy shirt. Could be a frog. I don't really want any of this stuff. I'm good. But yeah, like, in the context of the Monster Hunter universe, Steven, I just wanted to say thank you for always being there to help Label. She talks about you all the time, you know. She says the outfits you pick out are always super inspiring. Then she runs back here and starts sketching furiously. It's wonderful to see. There's so much for all 3 of us. Thank you from the roots of my quills. So, like, in the context of the Monster Hunter universe, during our last Final Fantasy collab, which had Behemoth, a boss that I believe is a 24-player fight, a single hunter took down Behemoth. Literally in context of the game. You're solo for that quest, effectively. In the lore context of it. You can bring 3 buddies with you, and you're generally supposed to, because they tried to set the fight up with MMO mechanics, which basically just made it even easier to solo. Because what you do is you use the environment to deal heavy damage to the thing, using basically like destructibles around the environment that fall down and deal a crap ton of damage. And because it uses MMO mechanics, you can more easily lure Behemoth under these destroyable things, and then knock them down on it. Like, if it acted like a regular monster, it would have been so much harder to take care of. But instead, they gave it MMO mechanics, and that made it so much easier. Like, oops, Sky be hammering away. What you making? So you stopped by, but I'm kind of preoccupied just now. What you making? Currently crafting a wooden block chest. See how I do at it. Alright, I mean, I've already got one of those, pretty sure. Yeah, I mean, I know if you do-it-yourselfers, but this is also a default recipe, so it's going to the Nooklings. I mean, I'm sure they're do-it-yourselfers, so it works out. But, yeah, like... So... I just don't see Omega as... flashy, important. Like, if you ask someone who doesn't know anything about Final Fantasy to identify a Final Fantasy boss, and then show them pictures of, like... And they don't have to name the boss, just tell that it's from Final Fantasy. And then show them, like, Ifrit, or Bahamut, or Titan, or, you know, basically any summon. They'll probably be able to pick that out as a Final Fantasy boss. You show them Omega, they're gonna be like, nah, there's no way. It's a robot. It's a futuristic robot. Smart greeting, I like running into you. Wanna chat? Weather's great today. Gonna lay in the grass, talk to some bugs. I'm sure Flick would love to know. Because he also quite enjoys bugs. Like, it's just not the same. Like, Behemoth is pretty solidly Final Fantasy. Behemoth, I believe, I could be incorrect on this, but I believe was introduced in the very first game. Might have been second game. But Behemoth's been around for frickin' ever. Like, Omega is Final Fantasy V, had no showing in 6, had an alternative form in 7. I don't believe it showed up in 8. It was in 9, I think, but not as the strongest boss even there. Like, it was the secret boss of 5. That's Omega's, you know, fame. Which makes no sense why for a 14 collab we would get it instead of Bahamut. Considering, basically, until they decided to go down the route they went with Omega, Bahamut was kind of the big bad that everyone's afraid of. It just makes more sense for us to have gotten Bahamut, but I suppose they just don't want the Monster Hunter fanbase clowning on Bahamut. They'd rather have it clown on Omega. Especially because it's gonna just be a high rank quest. So, yeah. not really gonna be much of a threat. I mean, I could see them maybe making it a bit of a threat, depending on how they do it, but honestly, also with how some events have gone, I'm a little worried it's only going to be a temporary event on, like, the behemoth fight in World, yeah, which is permanent. It's just always there, along with the armor. Which is a bit of a concern, because, like, I don't like temporary events in Monster Hunter, but they've done quite a few of them for Wilds. And I kind of get it. I'm also kind of annoyed by it, where some of the quests they've made temporary are quests that are basically just designed to help you progress faster. That would be really nice if they were permanent, but they were made temporary for some reason. I also need to get back to playing Wilds. I kind of stopped when I ran out of endgame content, and then them drip-feeding us new monsters has basically left me not all that enthused to get back playing. Like, with Rise, every new update brought 2 to 3 monsters. We weren't given one monster, basically, ever. And, like, that kept you engaged. The patch cycle was also faster. But and also, you had more reason to keep playing Rise because, well, more equipment was viable. Like, the endgame of Rise, every Elder Dragon's armor was a viable playstyle. Now, there was a on-paper best armor that was, until Volstrox, that was Magnamalo. Then when Volstrox was added, that became Volstrox. But, well, Crimson Volstrox, because it's not a generic one. But those weren't better by enough that they were definitively the best. You know? They were what you probably ultimately want, and the Crimson Volstrox stuff was the best with an asterisk, because it also took being pretty high skill at the game to make good use of it, because its offensive boosting only kicked in when you were at low health. You had to basically force your HP to be low to get anything out of it. Which basically meant you had to let the monster kick you around a bit. But not too much. Meanwhile, with Wilds, I've talked about this before, but the best armor is 1 to 2 sets at most, and it's painfully obvious because outside of a couple armor sets, none of the armor sets are more than a raw defense value. Like, you know, you get your Guardian Arkfeld armor. But basically, actually I think Guardian Arkfeld has offensive bonuses. But let's imagine it doesn't for a moment. You get that armor, if it has no offensive bonuses, and then say you get Guardian Odogoron, which does, well, if you're good at not getting hit, you want Odogoron's armor. Because it has lower defense, sure, but it has an offensive bonus to it. It adds to your damage output. The faster the monster's dead, the less chance you have of taking damage. Like, that's basically your survival, is dealing damage. Even in a case where you've actually got, you know, good defense, you still want strong offense, because that's... your defense is your last resort. Think of it kind of like the tank survivability onion. Basically with armor being the last layer of that onion. It's the same in Monster Hunter. Your armor is the last layer. It's the, it's something you want to have when you need it, but it's not something you ever want to prioritize because you'd rather just not get hit. Not getting hit is much better for your survival than planning on getting hit, you know? Like, I've talked about this mentality before, but like, the basically planning for failure some people and game developers will do or encourage. And it's like, why not just plan not to fail instead? And what I mean by that is, Star Ocean actually has a pretty good example of this, with the Sacrificial Doll. It's an accessory you can equip that gives you a tiny boost to your gut stat, which think of that as basically critical hit, critical defense. And it gives you a resistance to every element. That's all elemental damage in half. It also basically saves you from death once. If you die, you'll get back up once. Then it breaks. So, keep that in mind. Now, let's compare that to, say, a Ring of Might. Actually, let's go Earrings of Frenzy. We'll go with that, because it's a funnier item to use. It lowers your hit rate by 50% to give you 100% more attack stat. Your hit rate being what it says in the tin, attack stat is your damage. So it basically doubles your damage and halves your hit rate. Now, your hit rate can be raised. There's other accessories that raise your hit rate back up while boosting your attack even more. Like there's a Foot Talisman that raises your hit rate by 30% and increases your attack by 10%. On paper, that should mean that you're still down 20% of your hit rate. In practice, for whatever reason, in at least Second Story R, you're right back where you started. Your hit rate is now unchanged. Kind of dumb. But, inventory's nicely full. Alright, Flick. Got you some bugs, man. I do remember you, Flick. But yeah, doubling your offense means you kill monsters twice as fast. With, not having the elemental resistances, you could still, in theory, take some damage, but that's if you ignore that your armor is probably giving you elemental resistances. Alright, we got 6, 7, 8... 10 more. 2 Emperor Butterflies. 20,000. 22,000. I was close. I'll say that's 23,000 though. I was about 3,000 off. But I was close. It's closer than I usually get with Flick. Have you ever competed in a bug off? No, it's one this weekend. You should totally enter. You'll feel the energy of August bugs in your very skin. I don't think I want to feel bugs in my skin. Maybe I'm crazy there. But, yeah, like, the offensive route, you're going to kill enemies twice as fast, which means you're going to be taking fewer hits. Meaning, you'll potentially get hit by an element less, or get hit enough to die less. Meanwhile, taking the Sacrificial Doll, you're giving up on all of that offense for a tiny boost to your defense and a revive when you die. Because if you're giving up all that offense, it's not a question of if you die, it's a question of when you die. You're giving up so much for so little, but on paper, sacrificial dolls sound amazing. And back in the day, yeah, I used sacrificial dolls all the frickin' time. Every character had one. Because, well, why wouldn't you have one on every character? And the answer is because you can get more damage, and more damage equals winning more. You know, not dying by dealing damage is better than dying and reviving. But that's basically how, like, Monster Hunter armors work. You'd rather deal more damage, because dealing more damage means the monster dies faster. The chance of you getting hit lowers, and you'll basically generally have more survival for having more damage. So the fact that they took all of the offensive skills and shuffled them away really hurt. Yo, Steven! Feeling psyched, Nightshade? How you doing? Swing by sometime. Working on a new cotton candy recipe. What's that face for? How do you do a new cotton candy? I'm actually quite curious. Hey, Butterbean. You right now? Wanna chill at your place, Queen? Head's full of embarrassing memories right now. I kinda need the distraction. Yeah, come on over. I understand. I've been there. Only they're not usually embarrassing, they're more traumatic, but I've been there. Come on in, girl. Welcome to the street fight. Coming in, Queen. So it's nothing huge, but I get you this. I hope you like it. It's a shirt. Ta-da, I got you a camo tee. Seems like something you'd like. I mean, I don't, but you know, because you're having a rough time, I'll wear it anyway. Not fussy, you know. No need to worry about me, Queen. Aw. Well, let's show you the basement. Because this is one of the visits where she'll want to see around, so. How's your luck these days? You guys feel after playing a game? Well, that's great, sure. Alright. Silk floral print shirt. Alright. Card you got. Bid 7. I'm feeling that 8. 7, 8. It's gonna be higher. 3. Bummer. At least you went for it. See, it's not your day? It's everyone. Don't sweat. Maybe next time, Queen. That there will be. Make myself at home. Don't mind me, Queen. I will mind you. I'm gonna show you around. Show you every room. Go for the upstairs now, which normally has turnips, but this week it's pretty clean. Pretty clean up here. This room feels really, well, roomy. You know, I'd probably use the extra space for laundry if this were my place, but that's me. I mean, laundry upstairs, though? I don't know about that one. Could put laundry in the basement, though. Welcome to the poop room. This room's got a real butterbean feel. I wonder why. I guess I poop a lot. I actually don't, but, you know. Need to eat more fiber. Gonna hop on over into the kitchen, which they always think is my bedroom. Oh, so this is your style. I like it. It's pretty nice. Got black and white TV. I do like me a good black and white TV. I legit, no joke, do like black and white TVs. There's just something charming about them. I've just always liked them. But yeah, with how Monster Hunter Wilds was set up, there's not a huge reason to grind the end game, because you'll already have the best armor you could have before then. Let's see, no bed, no table, no chair, no nothing. So what's this room even for? Wait, don't tell me. I love a good mystery, Queen. It's for showing my appreciation to all of you guys. Should get your hair soon. Don't want to wear it my welcome. Alright. Thanks for showing me a little slice of your life. Had a great time. See you around, Queen. Okay. But, yeah, like, you'll literally already have better gear by the end game. So, yeah, I may as well put this in storage. I'm making Diva happy by wearing this. Which kind of ruins any point in grinding. Now, I mean, you could argue the point in grinding is just simply to have the other gear, but I like there at least to be some purpose to the grinding I'm doing. If I'm just grinding for the complete sake of grinding, I've got other games I can play for that. Like, I could play PSO2 if I just want to grind to grind. Like, there's a lot of weapons in that game that I could go for. And I probably will go for at some point. That are not better than the weapons I'm using. But I could still go for them and grind for them. And I'd rather do that because at least it's something. And there is still, at the very least... Oh, right, Serrano's sitting there getting in the way. She is. But, like, there is still, like, titles and stuff. So that you can still get some reward out of collecting all these weapons. But, like, Monster Hunter doesn't get that. Like, you're just grabbing them for the sake of grabbing them, and I don't know, it just doesn't work with me. The irony there is older Monster Hunter games, I'm all for just grinding out gear. Because more armor sets in the older games have a purpose. Like, Mitsusune, its armor set, in Rise, specifically, has Bubble Blight. It basically applies Bubble Blight, well, basically, Bubble Blight Mastery. It applies Bubble Blight to yourself, which makes you slide around, you're covered in bubbles. But having this skill gives you more control of the bubbles, and also gives you a longer range dodge. And where you slide, you can dodge even further using the slide. Like, it's fun. It's not the most effective armor. There are better armors for dealing damage. But it's a fun armor. And fun can outweigh efficiency. Wilds don't got stuff like that. So, like, at least from what I've seen, there really is no, like, fun armors. It's also not helped by the few post-game monsters I did fight that were added after I beat the game. Like Mitsusune. Their armor is just not as good as even the regular post-game monsters. So it's like, well, why am I here? What am I doing? Like, I don't get it. There's no real point to this. It does very much feel, and it is really kind of funny to me seeing people look back at Monster Hunter Rise and basically have the reaction of, perhaps we treated you too unfairly. Because I can almost guarantee the reason why Wilds ended up the way it did was because of the negative reception towards Rise. Like, a good chunk of the fan base were pretty vocal in their not liking Rise, even though it was a good game. And their general reasons for not liking it were more or less weak at best. Like, as an example, one of the reasons that was given for not liking Rise was no underwater combat. We haven't had underwater combat since 3, so I guess you don't like Generations, or 4 Ultimate, or World. Well, no, those are all fine. But Rise goes back to the areas where you used to have underwater combat. It's like, well, yeah. But no one really liked underwater combat at the time. It was clunky, hard to use. Another thing was, oh, well, it's too easy. I don't know, I'm pretty sure a brand new player is still gonna struggle. It's the same issue that Pokemon fans have. The games are too easy. Or you're too good at them. Like, yeah, I find the games pretty easy, because I know what I'm doing these days. I'm not mindlessly just putting 4 offensive moves onto my Pokemon, and then just mashing A in every battle anymore. I'm actually putting thought into things. I'm switching. I'm not just leaving my Pokemon in when things work out in an unfavorable way. You know. And that's what a lot of people are doing these days. At least veteran Pokemon players. But no, that makes games too easy. They need to they need to have all of the NPCs have fully EV trained Pokemon with perfect IVs, competitive movesets from the very start. It's like, no. No, the ROM hacks that do that also aren't hard. They just make you stop and grind. Like, it's kind of wild to me that people think that would make the games harder when all it actually does is make you grind more. But, yeah. All in all, I'm not the most content with the event for Monster Hunter, the crossover with Final Fantasy. It'll be nice to see the Cactuars back, but that's really about it. And, like, there are people who are like, well, what would you like to see then? What I'd like to see is basically the event that led up to the Behemoth fight from World. Because that was the most fun part of that quest chain. Okay, we got these 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 bugs, 3 decently priced ones, 16,000 bells. Oh geez, 27. Elephants are really expensive, I suppose. And for those who never played Monster Hunter World, let me explain this quest, and it's one that I'm really sad you could only ever play once. So, there is a monster called Kulu-Yaku. It's a bird wyvern, which you would think has wings. It doesn't. Everything's a wyvern. It's basically a little bird dinosaur that runs around, picks up eggs, eats eggs. Likes picking up things. This Kulu-Yaku finds a piece of a crystal. Like, basically a piece of, like, the big fast travel crystals from Final Fantasy XIV. Picks that up. Starts running around with it. Starts drawing power from the crystal. Growing bigger and stronger and bigger and stronger. The more you fight it, the bigger it gets. So, that's what you're fighting. Like, it's awesome. It's a fun fight, because it is still a Kulu-Yaku. But as you fight it, it gets bigger and stronger and faster, and, like, the fight morphs as you fight it, even though it is just a derpy little Kulu-Yaku. It's quite the challenge. You only ever get to fight it once, though. But it was a fun, memorable fight. That's the kind of thing I would like to see out of a Final Fantasy crossover event. Let's have the Final Fantasy universe mess with monsters. You know, let's have a Devil Joe come in and eat part of a crystal and become absolutely destructively violent and massive. We don't have Devil Joe in Wilds yet. I hope we do get one. Like, but you get the idea. Like, stuff like that would be really cool, not Omega. I don't want a robot. We had a mech. It was a boss. It was an Elder Dragon. It was Generations' flagship Elder Dragon. But, you know, we don't got that little buggy boy. It would be pretty cool and funny to have him show up and beat the crap out of Omega. Or I suppose it would be her, but still. Because every bug you see is probably female. I like pointing that out to people, because it always catches them off guard. You only ever see male bugs, really, during mating season, and that's only if that bug species mates outside of their nests. Because usually within the nest, say if we take ants as an example, the queen ant will basically just create some male ants that then breed with the other queens to be before they leave to go start their own colonies. That's just how ant breeding works. It all happens within the nest. So you never really see the male ants because they only live long enough to fulfill their purpose, and then they out of there, they die. But yeah, that is going to be it for today. I've rambled a good long time, a lot longer than I had planned on rambling. I thank you all very much for watching, and hopefully I shall see you back here tomorrow for more Animal Crossing New Horizons. See you all then!